I'm a strong believer that all this, the morals come in play once your necessities are fulfilled. Right. If
Right.
if you are hungry, you're not thinking
Oh,
about, oh,
wow.
I shouldn't steal that bread. You are hungry, you're gonna steal it.
Oh,
Right. So I think a
true.
lot of the organizations go through that journey. That beginning, yes, maybe for them to be successful, they needed the
Mm,
the best talent they could afford at that time, and
mm.
that was a male talent.
Uh,
Fine, but now they have progress. They have got those opportunities to attract people from diverse background.
Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Security Pill. Today we have with us Mr. Riyaz Somani, who is the new Equality, Diversity, Inclusion, and Welfare Director of the International Professional Security Association IPSA. Riyaz, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's wonderful to have you today and discuss, equality and diversity with you. This is a very cherished topic for me and my entire editorial team. So,
Pleasure. Pleasure.
okay, so I'll give a brief introduction about you.
Mhm.
Um, Riaz is the head of security of the British Library. He is also the co-chair of Public Space Security, which is a non-profit organization that helps member organizations be the most secure that it could be. He was the head of security at the Imperial War Museums in the United Kingdom. I'm so curious to know about that museum.
Oh, okay. We can talk about it. No problem at all. Uh,
Amazing.
yeah. So yeah, IWM, Imperial War Museums. That was created just after the First World War.
Oh,
Um, and when I joined them back in 2019, they had gone through several changes over the past 100 years. And the way I found them was that they have five branches, which are quite unique to each other. So it's not one single museum. There are five different museums across the UK, spread in three different counties. So three museums are in London.
wow.
One is in Manchester, up north of England,
Wow.
and one is in Cambridgeshire, which used to be RAF air site, which was heavily used between both First and Second World War.
Oh my
And
God.
that is a sight to see basically because it stretches more than a mile.
Wow.
It's so big that it actually is cut into two
Oh,
sides by a public road. So
wow.
it's huge,
Awesome.
huge. Over 100 buildings on that site.
Oh, wow.
So
It sounds
quite
so
challenging.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Okay, that is really exciting to know. I'm going to Google, all of these museums that you mentioned. Thank you for the information.
No, pleasure.
Okay. And Riaz is also has volunteered as a fundraiser, and he is an advocate of diversity. So I'll begin with my first question, Riaz. Um, Tell us about the International Professional Security Association (IPSA) about its ever evolving vision and how it has changed over the years ever since it started, and what can people expect from IPSA with as time goes by?
Well, so many different ways to answer this, but I'll try to keep it condensed.
Mhm.
So, IPSA is one of the oldest organization of its kind. It was established in 1958, so it's been running for over 60 years now.
Wow.
The association basically is for frontline professionals, or where we promote all sorts of different requirements from the front of house offices basically.
Mhm.
So we offer them mentoring, we offer them training, we go and create partnerships or with kind of lifestyle products where our members get some discount on it. um, it's growing significantly. We have at the moment about 25 company members and
Um,
over 5,000 individual members.
mhm,
And the outreach, basically aim is, the vision is to become a global organization. So we already
mhm,
have kind of broken the barriers of UK. So we have some membership outside UK, but
mhm.
we don't see ourselves just contained with that. We want to be a global organization where the
Absolutely.
front end officers can get the most of their professions with our helps.
Mhm,
We reach out to them in two different ways. So we have our mobile application and we have our website. Both of them are going through further developments. So that's one of the key areas that we're going to invest in this year, where we're going to make our application uh, more efficient. It is efficient.
mhm.
I'm not saying it's not efficient, but we as a group of directors, we have kind of identified some areas that can be improved for the
Of
end
course.
users. So we're working on that.
Right. Technology is always evolving and somehow it is never enough, no matter how how much ever you evolve. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and being in the cyber world, I suspect you know all about all the time, operating procedures changing,
Exactly.
which means the backend needs to change and all that. It's an
Yeah.
ongoing exercise, never
Mm.
stops. And any
Mm.
time we are kind of posed with that kind of question, saying, okay, this particular feature is not going to work or whatever, then we take it as an opportunity to make our product even better.
Amazing. Amazing.
So
That's the
that's,
spirit.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the aim, that we just don't want to do anything for the sake of doing it.
Okay.
Just because we are all volunteers and this is non-for-profit organization, we really want to run it as a professional joint where every uh, service that we provide, all the products that we offer to our members are high quality.
Amazing. As volunteers, you're so dedicated. It's so inspiring. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
be connected to IPSA now a lot more
Yes,
than before.
please do, please do. More the merrier.
Okay. What kind of support are frontline workers provided, especially after a life-threatening incident? And what area of frontline workers need the most right now? And who can approach IPSA for help and guidance?
I'll start with the reverse then. So who can
Mhm.
approach IPSA? Anyone
Okay.
who is working in our sector is welcome to join.
Okay.
We are obviously focused more on the ground staff, the front end staff, but that doesn't mean that the middle management and senior managers can't join us.
Okay.
They also will have opportunities to learn from our training packages. They will also have opportunities to submit their incidents and all sorts of support we give. So anybody within the industry is welcome to join.
Yeah.
Um, how people can get in touch with, that was the question, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so registering is simple. If you
Mm-hmm.
are an individual, you just go on our website or download application, and there is an online form you fill, and then you become a member. If you want
Okay.
to be a company, a corporate member, then there is obviously a qualifying criteria and a process that we need to follow. So again, you can go on our website, download the form, and fill it, send it to us. We at board level then scrutinize that form and then agree or disagree on get accepting the membership of a company.
Okay. So, going a little deeper into, agreeing and not agreeing. Um, the second part of my question is which area of frontline workers
Mhm.
need the most help right now?
I think the help. So basically, our application data, and we also conducted a small survey last year, back end of last year, which kind of explained to us in more detail, because most of our board members are data driven, guys because we
Oh,
like, yeah. Um,
awesome.
so we based on that, we found that the major concerns where front end officers really need help are concerns around verbal and physical abuse.
Oh,
We also have we don't have a greater data around it, but this is from professional point of view, and because I started as a security officer just over 14 years ago, now I'm
oh,
heading a security department for a national library and previously national museum. So I've done my 9 yards, and I know what is required for the ground stuff, and that's why I kind of
exactly.
accepted this role in the first place. From what my experience has been and what my industry peers have told me is that front end offices, their requirements mainly is around keeping their skills up to date, because as you know humans have diminishing skill sets and memory. So
Mm-hmm.
keeping up with that, giving them enough opportunities to refresh their skills,
Mm-hmm.
giving them opportunities to express their ideas, because
Oh,
as you said earlier, technology is influencing all
mm,
aspects of our lives. And
mm,
if we want to keep attracting the younger generation in our
mm,
sector, we will have to change and leave
exactly.
those traditional old school physical security. So
Right.
styles principle remain the same. I think is the ways of working change. So those
Mm,
are the challenges where I think the front end officers really need our support, our help.
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, it's really amazing. I'm already inspired in like two answers. I wonder what's going to happen after you answer all the
Oh yeah.
questions. Okay. Please share IPSA's work in creating a gender balance and how it tries to eradicate the skill gap and gender inequality within itself.
One of the things that kind of really inspired me to join IPSA was when I looked at their board members. It was quite apparent that they had different skill sets, and IPSA is the only organization which kind of breaks all the barriers around. Uh, you can be of electronic security, you can be physical security, you can be fire. We accept all kind of professions which sit within our sector.
Mm,
We are not specializing in one particular
exactly.
area. So even
Mm,
to begin with, the ethos
mm,
of our accepting members is quite general, acceptable, promoting equality. And then
mm,
when you look at our board, so like our CEO is a female,
mm.
belonging to an LGBTQ plus
Right.
community, and then our chairman is a male who has got 30 plus years of experience in the industry, who has been an advocate for equality and women in security and other areas. So
Mm,
uh, we live what we preach, basically.
absolutely.
Even when you look at the events that we offer, we try to tackle challenges which other organizations aren't tackling.
Mm,
So last year we did a piece around a relationship between the media and the front end officers, where there are conflicting interests, because security officers are supposed to stop anybody coming in after an event, and the media wants
mm.
to get in and do
I
their
read
job,
about that.
right?
Mm,
So we even when we are doing any events or any training programs, we keep in mind that we try and tackle all aspects of our lives and professions. So, kind of to conclude the answer, I would say we live and breathe equality.
amazing.
And if we it's an ongoing process. We have very that the board is very much aware that we are at the beginning of our journey, and
Oh,
we are not at the end or not even at the middle. This is the
oh,
beginning of a greater task that we have accepted as volunteers to tackle.
amazing. And I think the core of all of this work that you do has to be empathy. And you have to be accepting. as a person to be able to, go about and do it? Because saying is very easy. You have to be accepting, you have to, be advocate gender equality, but in application, you have to be that person who is also willing to learn and accept that I was wrong then, and I'm, you know,
And exactly that. I think you nailed it when you say it, because I mean, I can't talk for other members because I haven't lived their lives. But if we talk about myself, I moved to the UK nearly 15 years ago. I was born and raised in a very small town in Gujarat, and
um,
which was, completely patriotic society where I would, there is no data, but I would guess more than 80% women were housewives.
um,
In that kind of environment I was raised. I moved to the UK when I was 27 years old, and suddenly I realized that how many biases I had, uh,
oh,
myself. So this is not just about changing the sector, it's about changing yourselves as well.
mm,
So as I became aware of the unconscious biases that I was carrying and I started tackling, I can see the same drive in other board members where I think they, because of their upbringing, their cultural uh, boundaries and their family
mm,
values, be it economical or religious,
mm,
kind of boundaries, they all have carried biases at some point in their lives, and
right,
they're trying hard to shake them and
right,
be more inclusive.
absolutely. And you're doing it so well. I'm going to refer IPSA to other people who want,
Thank you.
who want role models.
Yeah, no, thank
Um,
you very much.
Definitely. Um, Please tell us something about your role, experience at IPSA so far, and vision for frontline workers. Vision, you might have I mentioned a bit already.
Yeah, vision, I think, is obviously, as we discussed, to reach out to the maximum number of you front end officers, and drive uh, the opportunities and diversity for them.
Hmm.
For me, I think personally, what drove me was the the struggles that I had, ongoing struggles that I had. I started kind of working on myself back in 2008, 9, and as I progressed through my career, I kind of saw that more and more as I progressed, that the equality was a challenge in our industry, and IPSA is a place where I think I will be able to use the tools, the platform that IPSA provides,
Hmm.
and do better things.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad you both found each other. Mm.
I consider myself more lucky than they are, I think.
Yeah. Um, do you see specific skills or strengths in staff based on where they come from and based on their gender or age or religion, etc.? And what strengths do you seek among staff for them to serve well both the society and themselves?
um this is quite interesting, because this is kind of diving deeper into bringing equity and equality uh, together. Yeah, so I think, as we were talking, the your habitat makes you,
Hmm.
and your environment makes you. So when you are in a certain environment, you are exposed to certain things that will mean that you have your strengths and skills based on what environment you were given.
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
you are right to ask these questions, that we do see different skill sets, different strengths in people based on their gender, age, and disability, and religion.
Mm.
The main thing, I think, which I see quite um, common is
Mhm.
that when a person, especially in the UK, because in different countries the minority means
Of
different.
course.
In the UK, when we look at uh, the diverse background, one
Mhm.
thing is quite common is that people come here and because this is kind of looked at as land of opportunities, they're all driven,
Right.
and they're determined to be successful.
Mm.
If you talk about just me, what I look at, I look more for the strengths than skills, because
Mhm.
skills I can teach.
Mm.
Character, the attitude towards the work
Mm.
means more to me.
Yeah.
And finding uh, like the disability and religion are so emotional part
Mm.
of your being.
Right.
They kind of have a different kind of strength that they give you, when
Mm.
age and gender is mainly based on how your society, your economical and your educational background, basically,
Right.
based on your experiences. If I look at my cousins who is 15 years younger than me, exactly same environment that he was given, but now that I'm 15 years older, we have different strengths, different views on life. So I think if you look at the characteristics which affect the people, they vary. And the
Oh,
main thing we look at and try to promote within our staff, or ground staff, is be confident. Be
okay.
confident in your skills, within your skin. Don't hesitate to challenge any biases.
Oh, wow.
um, Put yourself forward when, even when you think that, oh, this is going to be so difficult for somebody like me to get, because you yourselves, people suffer biases against themselves sometimes, that,
Mm.
if I had carried on like some other people who I came to know about, who also were from Gujarat. When I told them I'm going to apply for head of security for, Imperial War Museums, which is one of the largest national museums in the UK, they would laugh at me, saying, "Oh, they will never
Oh,
hire an Indian for it. Why would you apply? You
oh.
you don't have army background, you don't have police background. Why would they hire you?" So I went against all of those. Even I was thinking about it. So what we do is, when we look at this, we look for that confidence. We look and we try to foster that, and and and
Oh,
and that's how I think they will fit better within the sector and within the society, and break those barriers.
I was looking for something like this. It's such an amazing answer.
Thank you.
You really dug deep into the root of what I was, expecting to hear today. So thank you.
Thank you. A pleasure.
Um, how do you distinguish between organizations that have a gender gap with almost all men staff and those with a blend of diverse staff? How do you distinguish?
Oh, you don't be surprised we don't distinguish. We
Okay.
do distinguish, but we don't hold anything against them. So,
Mm-hmm. Of course.
if any organization comes, approaches us for help, or membership, we look more at the the aim of the board group, the executive group, what they want to achieve, and if that is in line with our ethos, our values, they're welcome. We'll support them. Because if you look at because security is a very niche kind of area,
Mm.
which was not open until recently for
Right.
women, or ethnic minority, for senior
Mm.
level, at senior
Mm.
level. So we're going through that. that journey where I think more doors are opening for
Yeah.
people like you and I in the industry. So
Right.
so we, even if we distinguish, we offer almost same amount of help, because
Yes.
some would be at the beginning of the journey where, you know, all 10 board members are men, and they want to bring some diversity
Right.
in the area. And then the other boards would be like there are 2 women or 3 women, and they're
Mm.
still not you know, there. So they will
Right.
also need help. How we
Absolutely.
approach them changes slightly, but
Mm-hmm.
we distinguish and we don't leave them there. And it's not that we distinguish in a way that it's formally written somewhere that this organization needs more help because of they have got these areas of improvement.
Mm. Right.
And we look at that based on the uh you know, a question, the ask they come with,
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then we go very scientific about it and help them.
Right. Amazing. So this is a good message that you can give to people anyways who, who might not get the right impression seeing all men, because
Hmm.
we cannot just give them some sort of a tag based on face value, based on what you see. We should give people the benefit of doubt. So I,
Yeah, exactly. Because see, I think organizations are like humans. They grow
oh wow, I
within
should write this down.
you know, within their culture. As they get more exposure to different environments, they change.
Mm,
You know, I'm a primary example, and we spoke about myself, you know, growing in a small village. Now I'm in, you know, one of the biggest metro cities in the world, and I
mhm,
see myself quite differently now. So you know,
yeah.
so I think organizations also go through those journeys where,
Mm,
as their end users change, as their partners change, as their middle and senior management changes, as the more resources come within the
right.
organizations. You know,
Uh,
I'm a strong believer that all this, the morals come in play once your necessities are fulfilled. Right.
right.
If you're hungry, you're not thinking
Oh
about, oh,
wow.
I shouldn't steal that bread. You are hungry, you're gonna steal it.
Oh,
Right. So
true.
I think a lot of the organizations go through that journey, that beginning. Yes, maybe for them to be successful, they needed
Mm,
the best talent they could afford at that time, and
mm.
that was a male talent.
Ah,
Fine, but now they have progress. They have got those opportunities to attract people from diverse background.
absolutely.
They should do it.
Amazing. I have so many other questions besides these now, but still I'm going to stick to the plan.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the work environment like at IPSA, and how do people from diverse backgrounds contribute to the mission? And please tell us some specific, if you can, observations from experience or from others that you have known.
Oh, working environment. I can't ask for a better working environment at board level, to be very honest, because we are so diverse. We have so many different skills.
Hmm.
But when we sit together, we put our brains together towards one goal. So and everybody respects each other quite a lot. It doesn't matter what background or you
Um,
know, your success in the market. We have some multimillionaires on the board, and there are people like me who, you know, who don't you know, don't manage to eat if they don't go to work the
oh,
next day.
don't
I'm
say
not
that.
that bad, I'm just saying.
Of course.
um but it's a quite diverse group of people who work together quite well.
Mhm.
um, so we have people from you know, people who are serial entrepreneur, people
Wow.
who are heading global departments for very successful commercial joints. There are
Mm,
people like me who work in public sector and a very
right.
niche market where they're responsible for safeguarding national collections.
Right.
And then we have like our CEO who belongs to LGBTQ
Right.
community, who has also responsibility of you know, caring and other things. So so environment is amazing,
Mm,
and it's a very different background which contributes to its same mission in a way
mm,
that, as I said earlier, we are very scientific. We look at what needs to be
mm,
done. So, if there was a requirement to look at some sort of contract or MOU we were doing
right,
with any other organization, then we have
mm,
somebody on the board whose expertise are in the
right,
contract and law. So they will
mm,
play a role.
okay,
We would have somebody. We have somebody who is expert in comms and networking,
mm,
and the media messaging. So she does that. We have people like me who have lived through that diverse background and have done their hard yards with all the challenges. So then somebody like me comes on board and then promotes equality. So we kind of look at expertise, but they all drive towards the success of IPSA. Um, uh, and specific observations and experience from others that I have known or experienced. I think um, our past CEO, Una Riley, and our current CEO, Satya Roy, both have been exemplary in that way. That Una was the one, nearly 40, 50 years ago when she started promoting women in security, being, very uh,
right,
kind of embodying that
uh,
drive. So when people come from that kind of background, when they have that drive, the
mm,
environment has, you know, yeah, they make the best out of it.
amazing. That's, uh, different people bring different skill sets based on where they come from. So yes, it's
Exactly that, and we try and give the responsibilities to them
uh,
based on their expertise. So then we
right.
maximize the chances of us being more successful.
Yes, absolutely. So amazing. This is the last question. Who can become a member of IPSA and what is the procedure to be a part of the organization? This partly you've mentioned before.
Mhm.
And what are the selection criteria based on where uh, they're located, their age, skill, etc. That they have to know that whether they fulfill the criteria or not. And what motivation or mission of IPSA would you like to share with them so they know that this is what they want to do?
Um, I think we touched who can be member. Anybody can
Right,
be member.
right,
We also don't look at any criteria on the basis of age and skills and gender, as
right,
the only condition is that they should be working in our sector.
right.
And that too is not hard and fast. If you were aspiring to join the industry, we would welcome you.
Mm,
And because we cover also everything, we cover cyber, we cover electronic security, physical security, fire.
right.
Anybody who is working within those areas is welcome to join. The only criteria that we probably put around is when you want to be a company member.
Okay.
And details of those are available on website and I think it probably
Okay.
if I try to explain, I will make a mess of it. So it's better if
Okay.
anybody wants to be a member, I encourage them to go on our website, download the form which has got all the terms and conditions before you
And learn
apply.
it themselves.
Yeah. And then we are open. If you have any questions, please just drop us a line. We are very responsive. We in Yes, we are volunteers, but still we respond to most of our queries on the same day. We don't keep people hanging.
Oh, wow. Amazing. So, yes, people will not feel rejected or anything like that since you're quick and responsive.
Exactly that, and I think that kind of is important for me personally, because when somebody asks a question, especially I think, sometimes people who lack in confidence, and
Hmm.
it takes a lot of courage for them to ask a question. right?
Exactly.
And then
Hmm.
if we take our sweet time to respond, that has a
Hmm.
very negative mental impact on them. That radio silence kills them, demotivates them in a
Right.
way.
Hmm.
So we are very sensitive about that too, that when we talk about diversity and equality, mental health is part of it. For us, we do consider things like that when we are throwing out any events, or preparing a training program. We encourage people to go and learn more about those things, because your backgrounds will give you different
Hmm.
mental strengths as well.
Right.
And those are important to be in, to be successful in our sector. So empathy and sympathy are quite important as well,
Amazing.
and we try to live that, not just preach about it.
Amazing. I I'm so glad I had an opportunity to talk with you, Riyaz. You shed light on so many things, and you really, that line was amazing. Organizations grow like humans. I'm gonna remember that. Um, I wish you all the best with IPSA, and may the organization go places. May it be a global organization. May the technology never be a barrier. It evolves with time, with requirements. Thank you for giving time with spending time with us.
No, thank you, and it has been pleasure talking to you, definitely. And please reach out and tell whoever is needs to be told, reach out, and we are there to help, definitely.
I will do that. The moment I find someone who's looking for something, some organization like IPSA, I'm going to direct them right to IPSA.
Thank you very much.